So I have this question for you. Have you been lied to? Have you been deceived in either your interpersonal relationship or your romantic relationship? How did you feel when you found out the truth? Did you continue the relationship? Did you have to end the relationship, or you just decided, okay, let me just cope, let me just manage. I'm already in here, so let's continue the journey. We're talking about deception on today's live. My name is Joyce Jakarta, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can do well to join, share your experiences. If you're yet to experience that, what's your take on deception? Our focus is relationship. So, what's your take? Should people be deceptive? Like, should people deceive other people? Should people lie? Must they do all of that? Join the conversation. Prudence, good morning. Jemima, how you doing?
Fine, morning.
Pastor Mrs. You are doing well. So let's talk about deception. Personally, I asked this question, but let me start by answering. It's not a good thing. Like, imagine you are in a relationship with someone, even your normal interpersonal relationship with your friend, and then just for you to discover that this person has been lying to you all along, and like it just leads to a lot of trust issues, and apart from that, it affects one emotionally, and for some people even mentally. Imagine telling a young lady that, oh, I love you, you are my this, you're my that, if I leave you I will die, you are the sugar in my tea, this my life revolves around you, only for her to wake up and you're with another lady. I know a story of a lady that was told how that she was in a relationship with this guy, and everywhere you see them together, it was like a signature. Everybody knows these two lovebirds. In fact, if he wants to, because they stay in the same community, if he wants to go out to get something, he goes to her house first and then they go out together. Even if she's doing her chores, he waits for her to finish and then they are out. The families know them and all of that. Unknown to her, he got entangled with another lady, but he was still with her. Then, unfortunately for him, um, they got involved in sexual affairs, and that led to pregnancy. And her family insisted that he has to marry the young lady. And you know how that people before, they will just bring the girl to your house. There's no two ways about. Once they ask her and she says that it's this person, they just carry her parents will just carry her things to your house. And for him, that was just an away match. While he was busy professing love to this lady, he was engaged in some kind of affairs with another lady. And they brought this lady to him that he has to marry her. This girl wakes up and she didn't hear from him, she didn't see him. She decided to go to the house, and behold, there's a woman in the room and his wife. She went back, locked herself in the room, and after she was told that he got this lady pregnant, he has to marry her, she locked herself. She cried and cried. For days, she didn't open the door. Like, her family, when they want to give her food, they just push the plate of food under the door. She refused to open it. Every day she's crying and then lamenting. It affected her mentally. Like, she's currently on drugs till today. This is like 10 years after. She's still battling with mental illness because of that condition. And today you find out people are married, but for some of them, they later found out things that they were not told. Like basic information that your partner would have told you before marriage, but this is where they found themselves. So, your take on deception?
Well, I feel like deception is a spirit
Mm.
that controls everything about you.
Mm.
Controls your sense of reasoning,
Mm.
controls your action, it controls what you perceive, what you hear, what you see.
Mm.
So it's like everything that is happening to you is
Mm.
always in line with that. So
Mm.
it's like it's confirming to you that
Mm.
this is something you should do. I feel it's a bad thing
Mm.
for you to be known as a deceptive person,
Mhm.
because a lot of things we earn them over time.
Mm.
So if people know you for a particular time frame to
Mm.
be a deceptive person, it is very difficult
Mm.
for them to remove that trait
Mm.
in you.
Mm.
Even if you have changed for good,
Mm.
it will take others a long time to believe that,
Mm.
and then it will take others forever. They won't even believe that you have changed.
Changed.
You know, there's this story that we always used to listen to, that this man lived on the mountain, and then he would just come to the village and shout, a lion is coming to attack me. And then the whole villagers will carry their cutlasses, their rakes, and then try to go. When they go there, he will say, I was just joking. So he did that twice. And so the people felt, okay, this man just wants to fool around, he wants to play around, so we'll not pay attention to him again. The third time he came shouting, it was truly a lion. Yes.
Oh,
He
I can
came, he
imagine.
shouted at the top of his voice, did so many things. Nobody came out. And then that lion ate him up. So for me, that is an example of deception. You would always have your way with that. But the very day that you are truly genuine and sincere, nobody would take you serious. Nobody would believe you, because you're already known for this thing. It's just like a thief. Someone has been stealing anything that gets missing. People will point hands at
True,
that person.
true.
Even the day that it will not be that person that has stolen, he may be killed for what he didn't do. So deception is a bad trait for any human being at all. People should not know you to be a deceptive person. Whether you are a child, a teenager, an adult, an elderly person, it is not a good trait for you to be identified
It's
with.
actually a terrible thing
True.
to behold. Prudence, did you or have you ever had an experience of someone that like lies?
I've met a number, but you see, the thing that I find with deceptive people is that they keep deceiving you, or they keep doing this thing because they believe and they expect at the end of the day that you are oblivious, you're not going to be aware, and it's like a sense of authority over you. It's like they have a sense of hierarchy over you. Okay, so this person, I'm actually basically controlling this person. Whatever I'm saying, this person hangs on to my every word. So even when this person's eyes are beginning to open and this person is seeing like you are a deceptive person, you're not even aware of that, because on the journey of deceiving others, you end up deceiving yourself as well. It's interesting and crazy. I personally think that it's ironic, because when you just when you think that every other person is stupid and you're the only wise one, you find out later on, if you probably don't even do that at the end of the day, you find out that people are no longer being deceived by you. People's eyes are open
They've
to
grown.
your true nature, and you have lost that time that these people you're not you didn't even notice that they changed, because you end up just deceiving yourself. So it's a very bad trait to have. Being deceptive, as she said, you lose validation and worth and integrity before people. Someone would not even trust any word that proceeds from your mouth, or any action, in fact, that you are doing. I know someone who, which is a little bit away from relationships. I know someone whose sister kept on doing certain things. Today she comes, she tells her this, she tells her that, and tomorrow she hears a different story entirely from somebody else. And it's like, wait, so this is exactly how it happened, and why does she keep telling me that this is what happened when it wasn't? So on the long run now, if she hears anything from that sister of hers, she just concludes, oh, this girl is just lying. There's no truth that will come out from her mouth. So even when she is actually telling the truth, the sister is second guessing.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong. So that's one thing. It just breaks your relationship. In fact, it got to a point that this sister is like, see, I can't deal with this kind of deceptive person anymore. So don't even tell me anything that she's doing, because I know at the end of the day she's just lying. So even when she's hurting, nobody even cares, because she has been lying. She just keeps on lying. So it gets to this point that your relationships will break. People no longer take you for anything. You're no longer worth. You're not. In our word, in our slang on the streets, nobody sends you anymore, because you just you've become waste, refuse to be dumped.
And generally, in fact, beyond even relationship, even though we know our existence is like embedded in it is relationship, generally, deception is a terrible thing for you
Of
to
course
do.
it is.
Engaging in lies, misleading people with false information is a terrible thing to do. Like, it speaks of your low self-esteem. It speaks of lack of confidence on your part. It's because you know that you don't even accept the person that you are. And that is why you think you have to create an image for people to believe. You have to bring information that are false for people to believe. And that is why you go into lying and misleading people. Sometimes I tell people, do you owe this person anything? If you tell this person the truth, will the person beat you? Like, you will not beat me, so why do I have to lie to you? Why do I have to create a wrong impression for you to see me in a different light? How long will this last? Because over time, I've seen people that have sat on the chair of manipulation. It doesn't last. It was the other day I was saying how that if you make noise to even be in a position, like, sooner or later you can't sustain yourself there. When there's no character, when you don't have the right attitude, you don't even have the skill, you won't last there, because it was deception, it was lies that made you got to that place. We've seen beautiful weddings that at the end of the day the marriage didn't last. Why? Because somebody lied to the other. I told you of the story of the man that went to join choir baptism class because he saw a girl and then he wanted her. Eventually he got married to her, but they live together, but the trust issues, there's no, she doesn't believe him. Like, it's either one issue or the other. They are married but not happily married. Everybody is just on his own. Why? Because of a deception. The other lady told her fiance how that, oh, she's a virgin. Like, they got talking and everybody talking about himself and, oh, I'm a virgin, I've not done this before. Like, I was so happy. In fact, he was sharing to his friend how that, oh, this lady I'm getting married to, she's a virgin and all of that. 2 weeks to, and she was 2 weeks to the wedding, she got engaged with her ex and she lost it. After the wedding, he discovered that she was not. For him, oh, I'm a Christian, I don't want to engage in divorce and all of that. But he lived with the pain and he doesn't trust her because for him, he was deceived. It might not be the reason why he got married to her, but he believed her. And then for him, there was some sort of respect and all of that. But for him to come and find out that something happened later on, he didn't even believe that it was 2 weeks to the wedding. It was like, you have been doing this. And there's nothing she tells him that he believes. And that is how it is for people that even get into relationship by deceiving the other person. Like, it won't last. No matter how long you have your way, eventually a day is coming that if this person finds out the truth, this person will not believe you any longer. So why would you want to deceive somebody to get into his or her life? You see a guy that has nothing and then, oh, you've seen this girl and you like her. For you think she's above your class. For you to meet up, you have to go and borrow car, borrow shoe, borrow this, borrow that, go and take loan so that you can take her out, show her that you have money, you are a big boy and all of that. Eventually, she accepts you. The next time she's asking you for money for Brazilian hair, she's asking you for money for dye hair, and you don't have it. You want to go extra mile because you know you have created an impression and you don't want to go against it. Or you have to start looking for lies upon lies, and at the end of the day, she can decide and just say, looks like you cannot meet up my needs, so what's the essence of being in this? You lose the girl. She'll definitely do. So why not go in your true self? Like, I will always say, embedded in everyone is greatness. That this person does not like you, there's another person out there that will really appreciate you for being you. So rather than you lying to people, we also see situations of even ladies too lying to be who they are not, or trying to deceive a man into marrying them. They say, I'm just being a good girl so that I'll get in there. The moment I enter, he will see my true color. You see the mom, you collect everything, you go and wash the house, even wash the television in the house because you are a wife material. And you are married. You say, I don't have to do all of this work in my house, so So why did you deceive the person? Because for you, you found out that what is more important for this person is a lady that is organized, a lady that is hardworking. Maybe these are the things he look out for. So people put in that image. Once they know that, oh, this is the kind of man that Prudence wants. So let me be that man to just get her, and you get her eventually. But along the way, you can't sustain it because it is not you. The same thing with the lady. You go, you are watching television, you are watching the wall, you are watching gates because you want to prove a point that, see, beyond this face or beyond this beauty, I'm a very hardworking girl. You get married and you tell them your house, you people have house here, you don't have to do all of, like, it's actually needless for me. It is needless in this day and age. A lot of deception is going on.
You know, the major thing about deception or being deceitful is that there's something you're aiming to get. A lot of times, the person who is being deceptive is actually just self-centered. It's about what I can get at the end of the day. It's about what I can gain at the end of the day. See, for instance, the illustration, the story I was telling about the sister. Whatever lies she went out telling people was so that people would look at her in the good light and the sister in the bad light. And it has severed their relationship now, so she no longer has that sister to bank on, that like she did before. And same thing goes in a relationship. As you mentioned, it almost always ends in a bad way, because you keep trying to get for yourself. You're not looking at what this other person would need. What am I providing for this person? What am I giving this person? What is this person benefiting from me? You're not even seeing that. You're only seeing what can I benefit from this person. So whatever I am doing is so that I'm going to get something out of this person or out of this situation. I'm going to get something. So because you're aiming at that, you keep aiming at that, your relationships, your worth, your integrity, you just drain it down the drain, because obviously this person will definitely find out that you don't have his or her interest at heart. In the long run, that's what happens. If I'm in a relationship with you and all you feed me is lies, over time I would notice that this person has no me. I'm not in this person's mind. I'm not even in his agenda to start with. He was just there to conquer and all that. So basically, the thing about deceit is that you are so self-centered, you're so selfish that you cannot even see out of your own needs and your wants. And because you are not seeing out of your own needs or your wants, you're not going to give any worth. What you're giving is substantial. It's not something that is of substance. Rather, it's superficial. It's something that would just fade away over time. It's something that is substandard. So you have totally become a substandard product.
Do you see what people do with AI and filters? It is also deception.
Yes,
Send me your
exactly.
picture. You go to AI and do a lot of things, create some shapes,
How is
some
that
face.
supposed to be
Yes.
you?
And
How?
then you send it to the person. The day that the person is meeting you in person, is like, or those that will carry pancake and all the
And
foundations
you-
and all of
you
that. A
see
story was
something
told of
about
a man
that?
that sued his wife immediately after wedding.
Because of
He
that.
said that's not
The
like the
he
person he got
to.
married to.
You see what I'm talking about when I said you become substandard?
Mm.
Because you don't even know your worth, so you're selling the wrong thing to people. And because you keep selling the wrong thing, people would not even see who you are and what you have
Yes.
to bring to the table. So you have belittled yourself by yourself. You don't even need anybody to belittle you. You're not being bullied for any reason. No, you yourself, someone will say, you carried your hand to pour some sand in your gari by yourself.
Like, have you met with people, and these are people that have been your friends on social media, and then you are like, wow, this is as far as night and day. Like, the difference is so. You mean you see people that put up images that it means you don't appreciate who
No,
you are.
don't.
And that is why you're trying by all means to take 2 hours 3 hours you're editing a picture,
Just one.
putting eyes for yourself, putting hairs for yourself, putting this for yourself, even now even clothes that are not yours. Somebody
Hair.
say hope that
You
make
hang
sure
on
that
to
this
them.
AI suit that you wear to church on Sunday. Like, people are just out there to deceive, and that's why I always say when we talk about education, beyond being intelligent, you need to be smart.
Of course.
We live in a day and age, not just being smart, street smart, because manipulators are all over, liars, deceivers are everywhere. A guy will come to you and tell you how that he loves you, cannot even sleep without you. All these things are lies.
True.
Like, some of them guys will tell you that girls are moved by what they hear, so come, let me school you on what to tell them. Babies, if you are a thief, you are this, you stole my heart, you did, I can't sleep with. He has a wife at home. Do you know I had an
Lies.
experience with a man, a married man, Jemima. I went to the market to get some stuff, and then this guy met me and I like you, look good, and all that. Oh, thank you. And I kept my straight face. And while I was getting here, don't allow any man deceive you. You are a beautiful young lady and all. I looked at him. He was trying to get my attention. And I said, thank you. And he said, are you married? I said, no. You need to be careful. Just make sure that, well, next thing, hi, I like you.
Oh wow.
If you can we meet, like all of that? He was, and I said, just like that. Honestly, he wants to invite me to his church first, and so that from there we can see his pastor, maybe counseling and all of that.
Already.
He was just talking that he likes me, he likes to have a wife, like he sees his wife in me and all of that.
What about his children?
So he's acting unmarried. Do you understand? So he
Yes.
wants to get married to me, blah 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 and all. I was listening to this song. He finished saying all he had to, and I went to the things I went to buy was in his shop. So like I had to give the audience and all, but I got all I wanted and I left. Unfortunately for this man, he stays in the same place I stay. It's around the same community. I was going out, and then he was going out, 3 children like this plus his wife. When he turned and he just saw me and I saw him, I just smiled. I did like this. Uncle just turned his face and he was in a shouting for his wife to hurry up, hurry up. When I hurried up to where they are. Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. How are the children? And answered, the woman answered, fine, my fine, and putting his face. I made sure I went back to the shop. I say, you liar and deceiver. That's how you go around deceiving young ladies. Why? Just because you want to get the person's attention, you want to sleep with because what do you want? You are married, you have a wife, you are already lying and all.
So what
So
else do
they
you
will
want?
tell you that if you want to get a girl, tell her what she wants to hear. Oh, you are beautiful. Where are you from? Hey, so there are ladies that are beautiful like this. They tell you all manner of lies. I'm happy that now girls are now a lot of girls are when you are saying all of you are yarning your rubbish, they are hearing you. She too, she's thinking of how to give it back to you like that. I'm not promoting deception for
Violence.
another deception, but then draw the line. That's why it's important that as an individual have your principles, have your values, set boundaries. You know to what extent you can take this, to what extent you cannot take this. So people are out there, vampires are out there, sheep or wolf in sheep's clothing are out there, and they are ready to do anything just to get a lady or just to get a man. While the ladies are pretending to be who they are not, the guys too are disguising themselves to be who they are not. You find out 2 people in a relationship busy lying to themselves, and you are like, wow. The girl is saying, he's saying, I love you, shoot you, I love you too. But they all have
But they
different
have
partners out there that they're really committed to. But she's doing that for the money, he's also doing that to sleep with her. So at the end of the day, you start asking yourself a lot of questions. But is this, all these things, are they worth it?
True.
But even if you go after an innocent person, maybe as a girl, let me take advantage of this person because he's gullible. Or as a guy, you say, oh, this girl is gullible, let me just take advantage of that, of her. Are you not thinking of the repercussion? The Bible says, what you sow, you will reap. There are people today that are going through certain things and situations in their life, and they are saying, oh, my village people. There's a seed you sowed sometimes in your life that you need to actually think about it, and the seed of deception. You are married, but you're going after a young girl and saying that, I wish I met you before my wife. What kind of lie is that? So,
And do you know
And-
what's
and
interesting about
their
that?
national anthem.
You know what's interesting about that? I wish I met you before my wife. is that when he met his wife, he was head over heels. He was crazy
Yes, now
and mad. That even when people were saying, "No, you can't marry,"
the
this
wife
man,
is
he
telling
said,
him, let's leave it next year. He's saying,
No,
no,
we
next
have to
month,
marry
next
now.
month.
So this the thing is, I think that it gets to a point that when you start deceiving people, you begin to believe your own lies.
I don't think so. You
No,
can,
it does.
you can lie to every
It
other
does
person, but
happen.
not to yourself.
Funny enough, it does happen at some point. You get to a point that you sometimes, not always,
Probably
but
on the
sometimes
surface, but deep
you
within,
get to a point that
you
you,
know
start
the right
believing
thing.
your own lies. That when things start turning out sour, you begin to think, what wrong did I do in the first place? It's just,
It's
for
a norm now,
instance-
everybody's doing
for
it.
instance, the person that comes out and tells you, I wish I met you before my wife, could probably at some point begin to believe that he never loved his wife in the first place, but now he really does love you. And when things begin to get sour, especially with the wife, for instance, when they begin to do custody battles in court, this person begins to think, oh, what wrong did I do? What wrong did I commit? I just fell in love. But it wasn't really it. You're just being deceived by your own lies at some point. So the thing is, it's just important that
Sometimes
you
the
stay
love they
true.
proclaim is just lost.
Yes,
Yes,
it's not love
yes.
actually.
So exactly, it's like you just transferred the loss that you felt for your wife in the first place, and you've moved it to a different person now. So basically, so it's just really important that you stay true to yourself and stay true to the person that you're in a relationship with. And if you're able to do that, that's one way that you can be able to move through any obstacle in your relationship. So even when it seems like you're no longer attracted to this person, you're able to be honest with this person. The attraction level is beginning to dwindle. Is there a way we can do something about this? Because you are open to telling this person that this is my truth. You will not be deceiving this person. Oh no, I still love you, but he's going to go and tell another different woman that I love you.
I'm not catching feelings for you again.
and you know, you should be able to find the spirit of discernment. You know, the example you gave about going to that man's shop and buying things. Someone else may go, and because of the things he's saying, he's even advising you to be careful so that you will not be. He was actually the one that would deceive you, but he was portraying himself to be a saint in your eyes, so that you would feel, oh, this man doesn't know me, and he's advising me this much. I think I need to go closer to him. He would give me more advices that would help me navigate through life. So we need to have a spirit of discernment. You should know when someone is trying to deceive you. Yes, you might not know, but don't rush into anything just like that. Give it time and let it go. If you had agreed at that point, and then you later saw him with his children and his wife, you would have been devastated, because this man, I trusted you. All you said, I believed, and I was willing to do all I can do, and this is what. But because you gave it an open mind, even when you saw that, it didn't even break your heart. Why will it break your heart? You didn't even you were not you were not even disappointed. Instead, I'm sure you were excited. You were happy with yourself, with what you did. So we should always pray and aim towards the spirit of discernment.
And I also like to speak to those people
when
that
you face situations, you will be able to overcome them, either immediately or with time. So we shouldn't always rush. Yes, we all want to have this baby girl soft life and all of that. So you see one guy coming to you saying the kind of things you want to hear, and then boom, you're all in. Tomorrow it is super story. It is a different kind of story altogether. So we should not rush, even if what we have always wanted is right before us. Let's still take time. And then, you know, deception requires a lot of work. You have to be up and doing.
Some people
really
are skilled in that area.
Yes.
They are even proud of it. They will tell you that you know, some of us, you cannot catch us. So when they lie, and then
they need to look for another lie to cover
girl,
that.
You're working with your girlfriend or your fiance, and you're like, I dated this girl. You dated her when? No, it was in 1960 before we met. So they always have answer
Yes,
to cover up
yes.
because this has been their lifestyle, like lying or deceiving girls. They will say, "Oh, just tell her what she wants to hear. You will get her," and then they move to another person again. And that's why it's important for you to be discerning. But you know, there are sometimes we tie good people to certain locations. Like, okay, if you want to find a good guy, go to church. They are in band, they are in choir. If you want to get a good, don't go to this area. There are bad guys in this. Oh, it's just ensure that he's in the church. There are wolves,
True.
Wolves in sheep
sheep
clothing.
clothing. Even in the
Beautiful
church,
clothing.
there are a lot of ladies that fall and pray. These brothers, some of these brothers, in the name of brotherhood, or in the name of, they'll call you for Bible study. You will leave church premises, you will go to their house for Bible study or for prayers. From there, you find yourself engaged in certain activities.
Why will you even do
And
that?
later-
You're not thinking right.
The person would later say, but we are not even in a relationship. You start assuming relationship because you guys had knowledge of yourself, like you
Yes.
had sex. So you start assuming that, so this should be relationship now. Brother sees another girl again, he's with her, and you're saying, but I thought when he will tell you, I never asked you out. This thing just shits happen. Like, so you should not tie any relationship to
fits
this.
up.
So just be like I said, you have to be smart, you have to be street smart, you have to be discerning, even in the church, that a person sing, chant, speak in tongues does not mean that there are no tendency that the person will deceive you. It's not everybody that is speaking in tongue that is a firebrand person.
It's not
And
everyone
it's not
that
everyone that is in
scriptures.
church.
So that quotes
That is
scripture,
a
because
good
somebody will tell you
person.
that me, I don't want anybody that is outside church. I'm not. He has to be my church person and all. There are people that disguise themselves to be brothers
Yes.
in Christ, but in the real sense of it, they are not. So you also have to look at. Sometimes you don't have to wait till you experience certain things before you learn.
No.
Learn from other
Learn
people's
from others.
experiences. That's why sometimes you hear people share their experiences when there are discussions, youth fellowship, in groups. Learn from other people's experiences and don't fall prey. Let it not be that every time people will say, they will warn against something, and then you go and find yourself and you say, he deceived me, he lied to me. Know that these liars exist. These people that are misleading others, they exist. So you have to be deliberate about being discerning, being smart. Like, you can't tie good people to certain location, but there are certain characteristics that you see in them. If a person is lying, it will of course not last. It won't linger for a very long time. It will show. So give it time. Don't be quick to yes. Somebody will just come to you and okay,
Don't allow
let's give it,
emotions
and
to
let's give
overwhelm
it a try.
you.
Which one is let's give it a? You want to use your life and
Let's
be
see
doing
how it
try and
goes.
error. Let's see how it goes. You want to use your life and doing try. How many people would you have to try to before you get to the final person? Because some of I cannot go into relationship until I test. Test what? You want to be testing everybody, every spirit you get yourself entangled with before you finally settle with another person's daughter or another person's son and transfer all the spirit that you have gathered to that person. There are better ways for you to find out if that is your partner or this person is not your partner. What are your values? Do you have value? What do you look out for?
Exactly.
So I don't need to test you before I know that okay, we are good to go. Some of us are just quick to following trends, and at the end of the day we start blaming it on this person, blaming it on that person, saying, calling all men as come, or like we really need to
You
be
know,
discerning.
I was just going to add that we all, I'm using the word all, we all need to be observant about the person you're in a relationship with. Don't be carried away by the mushy feelings. I'm using your words today. Don't be carried away by the mushy feelings, or the sayings, or even the acts of
Flamboyant
giving.
lifestyle.
Yes, it's not about what he gives you or what she gives you or what he tells you or what she tells you. No, they don't always tally with who the person really is. You need to be observant. There are things you need to ask the right questions. And we're not talking about asking questions. It's not like you would just
When
come
would
up
you
and
go
say,
and eat shawarma?
not even just when would you go and eat shawarma. You could ask questions like, how many girls have you dated before? Or like, excuse me, what kind of question is that?
Roll call.
I tried to take a roll call so that you know which number you are. I don't
Yeah.
understand. So these are not the questions you need to ask. They are questions that you get to ask when you have deep conversations. You need to have those conversations. And these kind of deep conversations, it could, some of these questions could even come when this person is not expecting it, because that's the best way to get the right answers. This person is not expecting it, so he will not concoct some lies for you. He would, for instance, you're asking very playful questions and you just chip in a serious one.
And it's
This
not the
person
one you won't
impromptu-
ask them on chat.
No, you
No,
don't.
no, no,
it's,
no.
it's when you're having a facial discussion.
Don't hide behind the screen.
And this person just drops the answer for you impromptu. He doesn't even know. He did not even think through that question. And from that, you're able to notice 1, 2, or 3 things. And same thing for the men. You can't just be delusional that she attends church, she's part of the choir, and suddenly she's a beautiful, she's the best kind of person that you can marry or be in a relationship with. You could just be digging your own grave. So, as much as possible, be observant. Notice all the nitty-gritties, the tiny things that this person is doing when he thinks that you're not looking, or when she thinks that you're not looking. We need to be observant. Jeremiah spoke about discernment. The thing about discernment is you're studying and you're tarrying in prayer, so you're able to understand what is going on around you.
Yes.
That's what you need to do in a relationship. You can't just jump into a relationship and expect that things would go smooth because, oh, this guy has checked all my boxes or this lady has checked all my boxes. No. Sometimes
They would delete it before they meet with you. I was in a public transport and this guy was saying, they were talking, him and his friend. I say, guy, hope say you don't delete all these things, because they just say, this guy that like to collect my phone to snap pictures. He said before he left the house, he had deleted all his chat with like his other girlfriends. So now he's going out to meet this girl. So her problem is to check phone. Now when he goes there, he's just going to give her the phone. And of course, there's nothing inside. But does that mean he's not having other relationship? When you're shouting and saying he's my king, he's my this, other girls who are there shouting. Look at the other guy that last week I was sharing the story. He asked that I asked, this guy was pained that he asked her, is she in a relationship? She said no. She planned to get married and she said no. And so he became friends with her. Eventually he asked her out and she accepted. But now she's asking him to break up with her, that because she's getting married.
How?
And the guy was broken and he just said this entire relationship thing self, he's not in it. He just wants to face his studies. There are also a lot of guys in that shoe. Some of these girls are just using you for to just hold body. That's what they call it. A lot of girls don't want to be alone. Like they don't want to be out of relationship because of the how society will tag you, or everybody wants to get married. Like they are not ready for marriage, but they want to get married. So every girl wants to use this one and whole body in case that one she's looking out for does not work. So you two have to be mindful. And some ladies will say, this one is for house rent, this one is for my makeup kit, this one is for this. They use you for different purposes. Maybe this one is to be dropping me at home. So they accept different guys, some ladies, and those guys are for different reasons. When there's this one that is sub, she will even save the name with sub. You'll be subscribing for her. This one is for rent, this one is for her allowance, this one is for this. So she allocates time, and this kind of people, they can be smart because it takes a lot of effort for you to deceive. Because you have to keep lying, upgrading your lie. You have to be looking for the one to cover up. I was telling someone it's a whole stress for you to double date.
It is.
Because you have to keep lying, lie to this one, lie to that one, lie, and you have to ask
Give time
not
to
what
this
I'm
one,
saying
give time
to that one.
Ah.
So there are also ladies out there, some ladies out there that keep different guys for different reasons, and when it's time for them to move, they just live inside the relationship. It was guys that used to say, oh, you don't need to, any the smart guy does not break up with a girl, just leave her in the relationship and just move. Eventually she'll find out and she'll move on also.
You know, there's this story I heard about a lady. She was dating a lot of different guys at the same time, and then eventually she wanted to get married. It was when you talked about marriage that I remember. She wanted to get married, and she has to do the same thing over and over again, like tell this guy, let's break up because I need to get married. Go tell this one, we need to break up. So, and she didn't have that luxury of time to go, so she had to create a group chat and added all of them there. So she said, you see, I don't have a lot of time to address you individually, so I gathered all of you because all of you, I'm still going to tell you the same thing.
It's the gods.
This is the reason for creating this group chat. I am sorry for what has happened. I was not truthful with all of you. I am planning to get married, so it is over.
A good avenue for
And
them
then
to
when
plot
she was
against
done,
you.
she just left the group. So they were left to know themselves, like, oh, so both of us, all of us were going out with the same. That is deception. And you know,
The
there's
guy
this
was dragged last year in Jos here because he too was dating a lot of ladies, and then when he was getting married, he just posted his pre-wedding pictures, and then with the wedding, the date,
they won't allow
and he
him.
now said that this one is the Lord's doing. Anybody that will die should die. Something like he wrote.
Wow, he was
So,
even harsh.
Yes, these girls dragged him.
Definitely.
That led to even the cancellation of the wedding in the church that the wedding was supposed to hold, because it was like, wow, people are saying it's the God's for me.
Exactly.
You are still in relationship with like different girls, and you are getting married. You are saying person that will die should die, and he made a post, and that's how they drag him. So he might be thinking, oh, I'm smart, or the lady too that is dating, deceiving you, I'm smart. It will catch up with you.
Exactly. A lot of people go through. A lot of people go through a rough life, because you know what goes around comes around. You have done it before, so it is the one that is coming back to you is good measure, pressed down, shaking. It is running continuously over, because this is what you have been doing. So we should be careful of what we do, deception wise and in every other way. If you are deceptive, you will lie. If you are deceptive, you will cheat. You will want to see that another person is below you. You are constantly the winner. You're constantly the one doing whatever it is you want to do. So you should always know that what goes around will definitely come around. It is always going in circle, and whatever you give out, you would collect it back in a double proportion. It is important that we know that.
Another interesting thing is that those people who really, okay, I'm talking about those that are not deceived by their own deception. Those people who know that they are deceiving people and they feel a certain sense of self-elevation because of that, they always end up being those who hate deception the most.
True.
Have you
seen a thief that doesn't want any of his things to be
get
stolen?
missing? Hey.
So the moment this person is like, there are people that overreact when being deceived, and when I mean overreact, I mean like they go murderous when they find out they are being deceived. A lot of times, if not always, those people are those who are deceiving other people. So that's how you get to a point that you're not even able to understand and contain yourself, because you have been a very deceitful person. You begin to even have trust issues, because you can't even completely trust someone, especially because you're probably always thinking, what if this person has opened her eyes and she's seeing, or he's seeing that this is what I'm doing, or whatever, I'm cheating. Obviously he's cheating somewhere else. Plus, if he mistakenly or she mistakenly picks a call a little bit away from you, you just conclude, oh no, this person has another person by this side, because that's exactly what you're doing. So you automatically just imprint that in other people. So deception is a bondage. Honestly, first of all, I can't even see how I can keep track of my lies. No, I can't. I can't lie to you today. I can't do that. It's just stressful. My brain, I need my mental health stable. So for me, I think that it's just you being your own prison. Deceiving people is making yourself, you're holding yourself captive of your own deception, because at the end of the day, it just turns back and eats you up. It might not be now, it might not be something that you're going to see physically, but gradually your deception always comes around and ends up eating you up. It's because life, people say, is like a tit for tat. What you give, at the end of the day you get. Whatever decision you make, whatever choices you have done, you have made, whatever steps you have made, whatever actions you've done, all these things come back with consequences. We were having this discussion over the weekend and we're talking about how okay, we were really talking about how the world is full of evil, and we're talking about deceit now. So we're talking about how the world is full of evil, and sometimes you just think that God is unjust because for someone he just seems like everything is going on well, and this person is obviously not living the right life. But sometimes we fail to see that some of these things that happen to us is as a result of one thing or the other that we have done. That's what happens a lot of times when you are deceiving other people. Over time you've even forgotten that you have deceived someone in this nature. Over time you've even forgotten that you've had this kind of encounter with someone before, and then you are being faced with a similar situation and you're like, God, why is this happening to me? But then again, you caused it for yourself at the end of the day. So we need to be conscious and not allow ourselves to be deceivers of others, because if you are a deceiver of others, you might just
A
end
friend
up
will say,
deceiving
no, they
yourself.
whine me, no, they whine me, oh, no, they whine me. So you know that you can get familiar with certain words that you are see, no whine me, or senior man, no, they whine me, oh, you understand. It was a great conversation with you all. Thank you so much for doing this. And
It's a
it is really important for people to know that misleading others, lying to others, manipulating them emotionally for your selfish gain, it's not just wrong, but it is a sin. The Bible warns against lying, and that word lying is synonymous to the devil, and the Bible says the father of all liars. Let's not be engaged in such activities or such acts, because it doesn't speak well of you. It is a sin, and no sin goes unpunished. So why would you want to manipulate someone's emotion just because you want to get that person? How long would you continue that manipulation? Did you think of the person finding out the real truth? So it is important for us to prioritize open communication. Be honest. Like, I mean, you're in a relationship with someone. Why would you want to lie to the person? So prioritize open communication. When you are at the verge of even getting married to somebody, make sure that every information that he or she needs to know, let them know. Don't let them find out from other people. It's really going to be devastating when they find out certain things from others that you didn't tell them, and you misled them to getting married to you or to settling with you. So whether at relationship level or at marriage or at courtship, whatever level it is, don't be involved in deceiving others. It is a sin. Let's be honest, let's be truthful, and of course our relationship is going to blossom. Some of us have been victims of deception, but you are here, you are alive, you are strong, you are now more informed and aware. Don't live in that deception. Don't be crying day and night and thinking back, rendering courses and all. It won't change anything. What has happened has happened. Let it be a lesson. Move on, stand up, wake up, open your eyes, move on. You've learned, and tell yourself it will not repeat itself again. So now you're more guided, you're more informed not to let that happen. And like Jemima said earlier on, be discerning is very important. When you study, when you create that relationship with Christ, you will know when somebody is telling you things that are not truthful. Thank you for joining us on today's edition. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss towards the cross. Until we come your way, 11 a.m. Stay blessed.